Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I have an exciting conversation with Anton Osika coming up as a backdrop to the Vibe Coding Week, which we are conducting in Cognizant from the last week of July to the first week of August. Anton, thank you so much for joining us today. I was excited reading about your background. We have one thing in common. We both have a background in physics. And, you built this amazing platform, and I love what you've called it, lovable. Building something lovable, as you call it. And I like the, I like the punchline, the last piece of software the world would ever build. Super excited to get you talking with us. Tell us a little bit about what was going on when you started this. You've had two startups before. Tell us a little bit about what got you to do Lovable, and then we will talk a few other things.
Sure. It's great to be here. Good to know your also background is in physics. The background was that I was seeing there's a lot of very interesting systems, complex systems you can build on top of this new general AI models that can reason. And one thing I did was a project. I just put it out on GitHub after spending just a day or two on it, which was the precursor of Lovable, and then I posted it on GitHub. Woke up to chaos, and my inbox was destroyed of people trying this tool, GPT Engineer, and loving what that was. After spending some time thinking about what are the opportunities in continuing to build on this, it was clear to me that one of the big blockers for building software as humans is that one, there's so many things that you have to handle in deploying the software, first coding it, deploying it, testing it with your users. And if we can bring that into a more holistic platform where non-technical people who have great input on building the product and the engineers can collaborate, that's going to be a huge unlock. And that's what I decided. I'm going to set out and build what I call the last piece of software where humans can collaborate much more seamlessly and build really, really good software. And then we launched it late November, and it's been a blast since.
I mean, it's been a blast for you. It's less than 2 years, and it's one of the fastest growing platforms. We've had registrations for the Vibe Coding Week, but what I was excited about is a large number of people who normally don't code actually are registering on Lovable. We have a few platforms on our list, and what fascinates me is software was such a huge enabler for production, if I may, producing new things. And it was restricted to people who had skills. You're democratizing that in some ways. So it is clearly an opportunity for somebody who is not a coder. What is the opportunity for somebody who's already coding? I mean, we have 350,000 employees in the company. A few people code, a few people support the life cycle of software development. A few people do operations in the company. I mean, we do operations for large Fortune 500, Global 2000 companies. We also have a consulting arm which actually does consulting. So we have a full stack of services. A small section does software coding. A large number of them do things around transforming, helping enterprises in their transformational journeys. So, what's your message for people who don't code, who want to use Lovable, and what's your message for people who code and who also want to explore Lovable?
Sure. I can take some examples, but first let me take those two groups. So if you look at what it's like to build software as an engineer, you can use an AI-powered code editor, but there are many ways to like, shoot yourself in the foot, or like there are many like complex operational things to handle. What Lovable does is that it lets you go from your idea to the full product just in minutes, but it doesn't help you. Like, you need a lot of technical know-how to instruct it to integrate with existing systems, for example. And that's where you will need engineers to do that type of work. And what we see many people who use Lovable that are engineers is that you build the front end, you build a lot of the product, also some of the back end in Lovable, and then there's a GitHub connection so that and you can use engineers can use any editor to fine adjust the code base, and it synchronizes with this core of which where the code base is stored on GitHub, which engineers are used to. But if you look at what like one of the biggest enablers is that the non-technical people who are often the project managers, it's the project sponsors, when they want to communicate what should be built, it's often feedback loops that are on a weekly basis. And if you can instead do that by showing what you want to have built to the engineering team, that increases velocity very, very much. So that much more of the time for the engineers can be spent on ensuring quality in the final delivery. So there is a huge opportunity in these two groups collaborating better on using our platform. But we're also seeing non-technical people, completely non-technical people, take it to ship full value without engineers. And some examples there are for internal websites or marketing websites. Anyone can just spin them up. It goes faster than sitting down in a code editor. For operations, analytics, and so on, you can create internal. It helps if you're technical, but you can do it completely as a non-technical person with Lovable. And finally, if you're a product manager or designer, you can go much more all the way in explaining with a working prototype before it's put in the kind of the planning to actually implement it. And that's where we're seeing a lot of value in how you can move faster to decide what you are going to build. And I have a lot of examples from larger companies short circuiting how fast they work, and they actually launch products built on Lovable, making in some cases millions of dollars.
And tell me, of all the examples, the most intriguing and the most exciting, app where somebody has built on Lovable, which kind of
Yep.
made you feel like, wow, this is terrific.
Sure. So we're seeing a lot of consultancies that grow, and then they build apps all the time on top of our product. But one that I was surprised by was one of the largest education tech companies in Brazil, where two developers used Lovable to ship a new product line, and they spent just a few weeks, I think, building it with Lovable, and then they launched it in two days. They had $3 million on that new education product line. And if you zoom out on this trend of replacing SaaS with internal built tools that are more customized and where you don't have to pay per seat, there's a very large fintech company that's doing specifically that. They're replacing almost all their SaaS with internally built tools, and they're huge users of our tools.
What's fascinating, Anton, is there are only 27 million developers across the world. And so far, all the tech disruptions which have happened in the last 50 years have created a divide between producers and consumers of software. This is going to blur the line. You could produce and consume at the same time, and we might have millions and millions of producers, and the endeavor of software is going to be very different. We're also entering an age where every industry is a tech industry. Software is the alchemy for every business. Switching gear, uh, when I hear the word vibe coding,
Yeah.
you get this feeling that, oh, it's a fun thing to do, it's a light thing to do. So the serious software developers feel like, wait a minute, it's not for me, it's for the people who don't know how to code. Um, and I think there is a misperception about vibe coding. It doesn't mean it actually means more serious work, more and it actually means more immersion into software. That's how I see it. So tell us the evolving role of an engineer
Yeah.
and this misperception, if I may, that vibe coding is just for some casual stuff and not for serious mission critical stuff.
Yeah, good question. I think the role of being a great engineer evolves quickly, and it's always been about using the right tool for the job, right? And for a large part of the work today, you can be more focused on thinking about the structure, the architecture, and use AI to do a lot of the implementation, especially in the early ideation phases of like how should this thing work, and then uh, I think vibe coding a bit fits that in that it's a bit more fun, it's a bit less serious, but uh, the name vibe coding is also, as you say, a bit of misguiding. It comes, I think it's adoption from is that it sounds very fun, right? Vibe coding sounds very fun, but you can also use it for very serious changes where you as an engineer are confident that this task is simple enough for the AI to do. And if you have a super complex system with a lot of custom systems that are interconnected, you need to as a human really sit down and understand the system before you just throw AI at it. At least that's how it looks today. So you need to, as an engineer, know which tool, when to use AI, and like when to really lean back and just write in plain English, and when you have to lean in and spend a lot more time to understand what you want to do and use AI, or just write it yourself. That's how I see it. So it's about picking the right tool for the job. And when you're building something from scratch, I think it's definitely much more productive to use a tool like Lovable to get the fully working product, version one of the product in Lovable, before you go into writing the code yourself.
Anton, as I wind up my side of the conversation, um, I want to tell you that give us a give us a message for our 350,000 employees. What you have before they get on to the vibe coding week. As a company, we want this to be the largest vibe coding event on the planet. So we are expecting all our employees, 350 plus thousand. We are expecting 200,000 to join us. Subsequently, we also have an endeavor. If you have seen our statement of purpose,
Mm.
we have established a mission to skill 2 million people on AI technologies in our community. So we want to
Mm.
take this endeavor to the schools and colleges, the communities where we all serve, and subsequently to all our clients who also have technology retained organizations. So we have a mission on this. We start with our employees and go progressively to clients and our communities. What would be the message you would have for our employees who are participating in this event?
I love that educational push, Ravi. So it's very clear to me what you should think in this very exciting age of new technological development, and it's that your job can be so greatly enhanced if you really dive in and try out the new tool and new capabilities that it enables. And for example, if you are an engineer, you should see your role as someone that translate a real world problem to a technical solution, and that translation can happen in many different ways. And if you just spend a few like days on you becoming a world expert at then the most recent AI tools that are like just coming out right now, then you're going to be able to deliver so much value for your employer or for the clients that you serve. I think it's the best time in the world ever to learn today.
Terrific, and thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful conversation today.
Likewise, it's a big pleasure. I think like something that I know we're going to be able to provide for those that want to learn how Lovable actually works. There's a lot of ins and outs in being able to use it productively. Is so a masterclass, a beginner's masterclass and an advanced masterclass. And I'm looking forward to see people at Cognizant and others who are taking those classes and help you learn as fast as possible. Ravi, I would love to ask you some questions before we wrap this up.
Sure, please.
Cool. No, but I'm very inspired that you're about to do the world's largest hackathon. Hopefully, that's amazing. And I'm curious where you see the most opportunity for people in your team, employees at Cognizant, building on top of Lovable. What are you excited about?
Anton, I've always believed that technology and software are such amazing tools to amplify human potential that everybody should unleash themselves. So I'm a big believer that we could produce more by democratizing it.
Yep.
And I'm hoping my software development community gets more productive using Lovable. I'm hoping I can introduce more non STEM disciplines into software development cycles.
Mm.
The diversity of bringing non STEM disciplines will help us solve more meaningful, purposeful problems the world has. We have too many engineers trying to write code for the world. I want people with a sense of diversity. I want anthropologists, sociologists, psychologists to write code. And if that happens, we're probably going to have more diverse, complex real world problems being solved by software. And
Yeah.
we want to be a company which is pioneering that.
I think we're going. If we have more diversity, we're going to have more lovable softwares being created. So I'm also very excited.
Absolutely. And
Uh,
and uh, and Antonio, we hire 25 to 30,000 school graduates every year. Every year we hire 25 to 30,000 school graduates, and a lot of them are STEM related. We hope with the advances we are now seeing on AI-led software development cycles, we can actually hire non-STEM school graduates to participate in the next tech revolution.
Amazing. I think we can go from the 47 million to a billion developers. Thanks
Yeah,
to
I
all of
mean,
you.
absolutely. I mean, we should all be producing as much as we are consuming.
Agree. So second question I wanted to ask you is what are you excited for clients of Cognizant specifically, and what do you think will be big wins for them with the vibe coding push that you're doing?
Anton, one of the challenges our clients face is the cost of technology deployment. I mean, I am a big believer that if we can reduce the cost of technology deployment, remember the cost of capital has gone up, the interest rates have gone up all over the world. The cost of technology deployment, if it can go down, more technology will be consumed. Technology has elasticity, and because it has elasticity, the paradox is if you do more for less, you will actually consume more.
Yep,
So I'm hoping that our clients will get the chance to do more for less, and hence they will consume more technology.
makes sense. Yeah. Final question is a bit more out there in the and futuristics. As as AI develops, what parts of your job in your day to day are you excited about AI start helping you and do for you, and which parts are you most excited about wanting to keep to yourself and do as a human?
So, Anton, that's a great question. A lot of times when you're running a company of this size, the priorities kind of straddle between operations, validating things, to creative, futuristic things. I'm hoping with the assistance of AI, I could hand over the validation, the repetitive task, the operational tasks to the AI algorithms around me, and I get more time for creative, more time for mentoring people, more time for leading, for building teams of the future, and thinking about what's coming on the way, so that I can prepare the enterprise. So I would love to give away all the boring stuff
Yeah.
and keep the human endeavor to more creative.
That's actually super inspiring. I'd love to stay in touch, Ravi, as I also
Thank
want to do the
you.
same thing and learn about how we do that, both of us. Thank you for
Terrific.
answering the
And
questions.
thank you for the wonderful platform you built. And I'm looking forward to staying in touch. Thank you again.